Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahach Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishopric. Most of all, peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful, like the house of David, shalom. It's your brother, Yazrai Allah, back with another lesson. Lord's willing is edifying to the body. And the lesson I'd like to do right now is going to be just basically seeing what's going on in the air, all right, what's happening, what's being generated through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, whether it comes from the right hand or the left hand, all right, the good side or the bad side, all right. Couple of videos to show right quick. And two, from the brother, Arrows of Indignation 144. Please subscribe to the brother's channel. Be very edified, right? It says, same playbook from Esau. The people are catching on to you, Esau, right? And let's listen up to for a minute, right? Because a lot of good stuff in here, all right?
Tell you, Director Deutsch, as a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, that the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time. Director Deutsch, I will refer you to three specific agency operations known as Amadeus, Pegasus, and Watchtower. I have Watchtower documents heavily redacted by the agency. I was personally exposed to CIA operations and recruited by CIA personnel who attempted to recruit me in the late 70s. To become involved in protecting agency drug operations in this country. I have been trying to get this out for 18 years, and I have the evidence. My question to you is very specific, sir. If, in the course of the IG's investigation, Fred Hitz's work, you come across evidence of severely criminal activity, and it's classified, will you use that classification to hide the criminal activity, or will you tell the American people the truth?
So, I just saw the news. I don't know if this is like breaking news, but I don't know if anyone knows about the book that came out that this journalist by the name of Seth Harp wrote, and he was actually on the Tucker Carlson show, and he did a whole interview, so you guys should check that out. It was really interesting, about the Fort Bragg cartel, which is Fort Bragg is the biggest army base in the United States, and also the special forces, I guess, Delta Special Forces, and apparently he discovered that they have a whole cartel going on there by the same military people. So while the U.S. government and Trump administration accused Venezuela of being a narco state, and that Nicolas Maduro is a kingpin or a leader of this drug cartel, we have the cartels right here in our backyard. and by military, in a military base. This is what I say to Americans, like, you guys think the U.S. is so innocent, and that they are the good guys that combat all the bad things in the world, like terrorism and drugs. And literally, they're the ones that are involved in the whole situation. But people just want to blame Mexico, they want to blame all these other countries. When in reality is that the U.S. depends on that drug money. And it's so hilarious how this book came out recently, by the way. It's what a coincidence it is that this book comes out recently, and the interview with Tucker Carlson and this man that did the uncovering of these cases, and how he even says that the Pentagon covered it up, that there are big official intelligence people that are part of it. What a coincidence that just when this book comes out and this man comes out and reveals this, Donald Trump accuses Venezuela of being a narco state. And he's quick to jump to send 4,000 Marines to Venezuela. All that, he is definitely trying to distract people from the Epstein files and from that shit. Because they know Americans will be like, oh, Venezuela and everything is outside the United
Yeah, so hey, a lot of people are waking up to this this big bad guy. All right. The Lord says, "I've uncovered Esau. You know, I've made him bare." All right, and the only way for us to get out of here, because this man is his hand is stronger than ours right now. All right, so we have to depend on the arm of the Lord to get us out of this mess. All right, because this place is a big mess. All right, there's lies and robbery and deceit and you name it. All right, you name it, it's here in this place. All right, this is a this is a big pot of shit. All right, Deuteronomy 32:27 reads, "The eternal power is thy refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." You see, it says, and he shall thrust out the enemy from before thee, and shall say, destroy them. All right, that's future prophecy coming. All right, there shall be thrust out before us. All right, and the Lord is going to put the spirit upon us to destroy them. All right, this Lord says, by the hand of my people Israel shall he get vengeance on Esau, Edom, roughly paraphrasing. Deuteronomy 33:28 it reads, Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thy enemies shall be found unto thee, and thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. Right, so we're treading upon their high places right now. We're shaking the hands and going to the gates of the nobles right now and cursing them out and telling them, you know, they're giving them their judgment. All right. All right. Inquisition is being made right now. All right. Oh, Salaki. So let's listen up to another video right quick. There's another one right here. Again, arrows of indignation. All right. The brother. Please subscribe and be very well edified. Yep. Where we at?
Well, the last 10 years or so have been shocking to say the least, but Judge Andrew Napolitano went on Glenn Beeson's program, and not many people have seen this yet, but I would say shocked the world.
Last question is, I guess, a very broad one. Is what are you seeing being the main threats to liberty today in the United States, given this constitutional overreach and deep state? What is it that threatens liberty?
Well, the Congress refuses to do its job, and it lets the president, it cedes power to the president. That impairs liberty. Right now, he wants to become the police commissioner of Washington, D.C., Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York City. The courts don't enforce the Constitution as it was written. The military-industrial complex and the Zionist lobby have ironclad grips on the Congress, so the military-industrial complex still is the beneficiary of now $1 trillion annual budget, which of course is absurd. That's more than the next 10 countries combined, which includes Russia and China, of course. The absence of constitutional norms, all these things, and debt, all these things are going to bring down the American government, probably debt before the others.
So you predict the collapse of the American government within the foreseeable future?
The collapse of the federal government and the United States breaking off into, I don't know how many, a dozen or so smaller republics.
So the breakup of the United States as well?
Yes. Yes, because it won't be able to pay its bills, it won't be able to pay its salary. No one will want to work for it, no one will lend money to it. People to whom it owes money will be out of luck. It'd be like suing the Confederacy after the Civil War because you made them alone. The federal courts wouldn't even hear the suits.
So, sorry, just one last question. Who do you think would break off first? Is it like Texas, or how do you see this fragmenting?
Well, this is just speculation on my part, but it would be regional, and it would be ideological. So New England would probably be its own small republic. Texas would be its. Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida would be one. I don't know where my home state of New Jersey would end up. Probably wherever New York goes. But these are the things that will probably happen. I mean, people will wake up and they'll still be able to go to supermarkets and they'll be able to go to church and they'll be able to go to work. There'll just be no federal government anymore. Will someone move in on and take the place of it? Who knows?
Judge Napolitano, I'm a huge fan, so this has been a real privilege for you to come on my channel. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, they're stripping this place down, man. From within. All right, this is all happening from within. It's a controlled demolition, just like they did the World Trade Centers. All right, controlled demolitions. All right, there was no airplanes or anything like that. But hey, and everything is coming out. Everything has been out for a while now, you know. And eyewitnesses that were on the ground at that time, you know, would tell you what had happened. So, but anyway, you know, the media, they're going to put their people up there to show you and tell you what's going on and stuff, so the American public can believe it. All right, but let's grab this. Let's grab this Revelations 18. I'll start at 1. It reads, point is in 2. It says, after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. All right. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hole of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. You see, and this is this is all that's going to dwell here. All right, and this place is going to be hit with 200 million missiles. All right. And it's going to be a desolate. This is future prophecy. All right. All right. This is what a man of the Lord, prophet of the Lord is going to speak about. He's going to be speaking constantly on prophecy, right? Because these prophecies bring us to the end. All right. The end time. A man of the Lord is going to be looking for the end of this man's time. The end of this man's world, the end of this man's eon. All right, his time that he has reached his time. He can't go any further. All right, this is why all these things are happening. All right, this is why the devil's coming down with great wrath. This is why the devil is destroying his own place. All right, because he knows. He's just like all these devils trying to take a bag and run and hide. You know, it's crazy, man. But let's grab another precept right quick and shut this down. Right, all the shit that he's doing is shameful, spewing on his glory, man. All right. And this guy, let me grab this Isaiah first. This guy doesn't have any shame, man. All right. Masked man, you know. Isaiah 19. And I'm going to start at 1. It reads, the burden of Egypt, right? This is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? Revelations 11 and 8. It says, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, the chariots, right? And shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence. You see, it's going to destroy all this shit. And the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof. All right. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You see, all right. This is what the Lord doing. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, all right, and to the wizards, all right. This is what they have always done, man. The Chaldeans, all right, they've always dealt with the left-hand side magic, if you will, all right, the Magi's, all right. And verse 4 reads, and the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord. Trump always said I was ordained by the Lord, and the Lord telling you right here, I will give them into a hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them. Then Trump thinks himself a king. He's putting his face up all over DC. All right, his big, large posters up, all over the place. He said, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord. You see, the Lord of hosts, right? All right, let's drop down to verse 14. Drop down to verse 14. And it reads, the Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And you can see that going on right now. All right. Scripture says, is there any wisdom in teaming? I mean, what are you guys doing? Who's running the joint? We were saying this stuff when Biden was in office, and they were saying it. The world was saying it. The MAGA was saying it. But now, since MAGA has to keep faith and and the rest of the Americans too, Democratic side, they're all the same, man. All right, and mentally they all are the same. They're all rooting for this place. No, we are not rooting for this place. All right, we meaning that men of the Lord are not rooting for this place. All right, and you can be MAGA or you can be a Democrat or a Republican, whichever. And you can be a so-called white or so-called black. You still are a retard. All right, if you're thinking that these guys are at odds with one another or going against each other. No, they're on the same team. All right. And they're staggering right now, all right? And the Lord is rushing them right now because they're seeing all these different things that are happening within the earth. And, they know the Lord is on his way. They know, all right? Let's grab another precept right quick because the Lord, all these things that he's doing, like the military bases with drugs, all right, and Fort Braggs, like she was saying, man, this is shameful spewing on your glory, man. All right, Trump trying to cover up his pedo shit, from Epstein and his buddies over there, and those small hatters, they all tied together. All right, Trump being a puppet set them up to do their dirty work. All right, and all of that is clear, as clear as day, and the American people are pissed, man. They're like, man, we are Israel's bitch. Basically, Habakkuk 2:16, it reads, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on your glory. You see, ain't no glory in this place, man. The Lord is turning that glory into shame, man. All right, whatever you thought you had, you ain't got, man. But the Lord tells us to always be pray, man. All right, let's grab this Matthew 26:41. It reads, watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. All right. No matter what happens, do not succumb to this place. All right. All right. This place is very, very deceptive. All right. The devil is ruling. We know who's ruling this place. It's Satan. All right. And he's doing a great job. All right. Mark 13:33, it says, take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. All right. For the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. All right, we're set to watch. We're set up to watch. All right, let's jump up a little bit and go get the verse 31. Verse 31, it reads, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. You see? All right, the Lord's words stand forever, all right? It says, verse 32, it says, but the day of the Lord and that hour no man knoweth, no, not the angels, which are in heaven, neither the Son, but the Father only. All right. So, hey, diligent watch and pray. We see what's going on, man. Everything is in chaos in this place. You can see it. All right. It just hasn't boiled up. All right. It's a slow boil, like you boil a frog, doesn't even know he's being boiled to death, But anyway, with that, Lord knows I said enough. Lord's will is edifying to the body. Give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Ruach HaKodesh, Krem Yasharella, Wa Abal Babal to this freaking place.